Hi, welcome to Fiddly Stitch Tutorials. Today we're going to be learning how to splice an image. This is just like an update to do it a little bit simpler than the last video I had shown. Before I get started, I just want to invite you all to look down in the description box in the bottom of the video, and there's my pages down there. You're welcome to join the group that's posted below. Sublimation Unlocked. I've been having a lot of problems in groups where I can't they won't allow the posts that I share to actually go through. So the only way to get around that is, I guess, to invite you to another group. I'm not trying to sell anything to you in these other groups. I'm simply just trying to teach you processes that I've done and to show you the work that is possible for you to do. And that's it. You know, I just want people to have the option to get on the same level. I mean, I don't want anybody to feel like they can't do it. And if you'd like to join, just click the link down below. It'll take you right there. Okay, so let's get started. So we have our image here, and you know, I've done the image before, so I'm just going to go ahead and brighten it up a little bit, because I know that for it to print how I want it to, I need it a little bit brighter. So we're just going to go ahead and change the brightness a little bit, and then we're going to split the image. Before we start thinking about how to get the right size, we have to have our paper set up for the print area. And you can, in Silhouette, you can see this little gray border right here. This is the print line. They have another one that's a cut line, but that's just a different border, and it'll pop up in red. You can change the colors of that in Silhouette, but I use red and gray so that you can distinguish the two. If you have them the same, then you might be in the wrong border and it might cut off some of the image. So just for simplicity, we're going to go with the gray border here. So the first thing you need to realize is that your image has to fit within your paper size. And obviously this image does not. I know that my complete image I want to fit inside my platen area, which is a 16 by 20. But I'm not going to do a 16 inch. Simply because if I did 16 inches, I'd have to add a little strip all the way on one side or another. So to get it all in one press, I've resized the image to approximately 13.5 by 19. And the reason why I do this is, let's rotate it here so you can see. And then what I want is for my image to fit inside the top and the bottom of my print paper. And you might have to adjust a little bit more. Okay, you can see there's a little tiny space between the print and the border on that side, and then this one is just a little different, but we have enough room that we can scoot the image up, and the print line is down here, so we have a little space. So we know that the border is going to make it on the top and the bottom. Now what we need to do is fit it between the side on each side. So that image, we're going to have to make it a little bit smaller than the actual paper size, just like we did on the top and the bottom. Remember, my paper is 14 inches and we chose 13.5. So let's go ahead and we'll scoot this out of the way a little bit. Let's make our boxes. Select the box, and once we have it open, we can always change the setting for the size up top. So we're going to go with 8.2 as our width, and then 13.6 as our height. Okay, so now we can set the image in, and it should almost be exactly the same size. And it is. Okay, so we know we fall inside those borders. Now we can go back, and that was just to show you that it fits the print. Now we're going to go back, select the box. We're going to change it back to 8.5 because that's how wide the paper actually is. And then 14 inch. So that we create the exact size of our paper. Now we know that there's a border all the way around it, right? Now I don't want this to actually be 8.5, so I'm going to go back to the 8.2. Sorry, I know this is confusing. The 8.2, and the reason why I do that is because if I print an 8.5, the printer's not going to print it all the way to the edge. So I know this one for a fact is 8.2, just so that it's within range of the borders. And I'll show you after we get this all set up here. Okay, so 8.2, and by the 14th length, because the image is already small enough that it'll fit inside of the whole paper, according to the borders. So we'll select the box, and over here, take it over there. Over here, there's this little icon, and that icon actually brings up a replicate box. So you can adjust it, you know, however your paper goes to your image, however you have it lined up. You can go backwards, you can go forwards, you can go down, up. You can do it in multiples of one more box, or 2 boxes, or 3 boxes, and that'll help build it. So I know this image is going to be 3, so I'm going to go over 2 more boxes and see how it automatically just throw those boxes up there. Oops, let me scoot over a little bit. So here's my cut boxes. And when you place an image, of course, it's not going to fill the image, which is fine because I need it to be inside of my platen. This will just be excess paper that'll hang over. So if we take those 3 boxes and put our image underneath, and then select it, and then go over to this tab, it's called the Modify tab. It's like the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11th icon down on your right hand side, and then select Crop. Then deselect it. See, it doesn't do it just right. So you have to adjust them still a little bit. I just wanted to show you that it'll make the boxes for you, and then you can select the undo to get your boxes back. Now to really get in here and adjust these, you're going to go to one side or the other. That way, when you go do the adjustment, you're going to zoom in all the way. And that way, and what I do is just one little click out. And it seems to work right for me. So then we'll zoom back out so that we can get over there quicker. And then zoom back in. If you touch that little icon zoom lens over here and then put the magnifying glass right on top of the corner, it brings that to the center of the screen. And that'll kind of help some of you get there easier without losing where you're trying to be. And then select the other side, the opposite side, and click one time. Okay, so it moves it back so it's not actually in the way. And doing that, it should allow us to cut our image. When we put them all in the boxes again, select them all, and then crop. And then there you go. That's how you do it. Now that we have our 3 images, we're going to bring them all down so they're not so far away. And then we're going to go down here. And now is when I'm going to show you how it fits inside the actual print area. There's that little thin gray line all the way around. What I do is that one will fit, so I know that fits. Now I'm going to show you the reason why we make the 8.2 instead of 8.5, because this is actually going to be the more important measurement for you. Oops, too far in. Okay, so here's our image. Here's our edge right here. And this one is covered up a little bit, so we need to scoot it over. And then now you can see there's a little tiny gray line over here and not so much over here, so we need to bring it back. Now we can see if you cover up one of these lines, it will not print it. It will cut it off. That's why I really wanted to show you this specific thing. I don't know if you can really see it. Let me try to get it closer. There is that little thin line right here. If we select a little hand, it'll move the whole screen rather than... And then there's a little thin line right here. And that's your print line. So, again, this is the key. You have to remember that if you do 8.5, it will put the picture all the way to the edge of the paper, but your print area is receded in because it's the way the program is set up. There you have it, and that's it. So when you go to put these images together, you know, if you use tape in here, it's going to make a shadow where it's not going to print the images right. So for this, just to kind of give you a visual, I would scoot almost to the very edge, almost to that little print line on that side. And then when I print it, it'll leave a line down the edge of the paper right here. The same with all of these prints. It will leave an edge. What I do is this one is what I would consider the master paper. This will be the one that I don't cut. This one I would cut the edge on this side and then leave that so it would almost be like that little white line right here. Zoom in a little bit. Oh, let me get the other page. Sorry. But this way you can really see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so if you thought about this is already all printed. This is cut. This edge is cut. This is the little paper that you're going to overlap on each side. So you would stick the paper right here. Normally, if you tape it and line it up right, you're going to have tape lines in here somewhere where you're going to see that the image is it's not printing. You know, that heat-resistant tape, it'll hold that ink back. I've had troubles with that since I started, and I had to try to figure out a way to get it done without leaving that tape line. So what I do is I spray this edge with basting spray, this edge with basting spray, then I just take my paper and line it up and press it down. If you're not careful, you'll leave a little line there. So you want to make sure when you line it up, you're lining it up just right so that your area doesn't have a little thin white stripe like this. You want that ink to almost overlap, not necessarily overlap because you'll cut some of the image off, but get it to line up, and the basting spray will hold it. I don't know how many people are really familiar with basting spray, but quilt basting spray, it's just a little aerosol adhesive. You don't want to heavy coat it, but it's just like light mist. And you're going to want to get the edge, and then once you press the edges down with your fingers, you know, all the way across the ink, then it'll hold on to itself. Then what I do is I take the whole image, put it inside a little cardboard box. That's where I do all my spraying, because I don't want that mist to get all over everything, because it will make things sticky. And then just lightly mist the whole image. That way when I lay the image down, I don't have to have any tape anywhere. I don't have to have you know, an edge where I had to tape because I don't want the image to move. So this is what I was talking about a new technique where I'm not using tape. It's a tapeless image. So I hope that was really, how do you say it? I hope you learned something. I hope you all understand that this is a process. I haven't seen it. Everywhere I see, everybody wants to use tape. And it's a simple process. It's not complicated. It takes a little getting used to. And for this edge to cut, it's best to have what they call a guillotine cutter, you know, a paper cutter. If you cut it by hand, you know, you might have little areas where it's not even, where it goes in further than the other area does, and that'll kind of throw your image off. But, you know, if you're good with scissors, then I guess it's possible. I'm just not very steady-handed, and I have a tend to make little nicks here and there, so I use a guillotine cutter. And you can purchase them online from Staples, Walmart, several different places. You can just look them up. And they're really handy when you start cutting this. So, anyways, I hope you like, subscribe, share this post in any group, anywhere, with anybody, and feel free to join the group. Like I said, invite people if you want. Yeah, I'll be sure to add them, and I hope to see you all out there. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks again. Bye-bye.